I'm going to go ahead and just start recording it. So if you get behind on note taking, you can always go find this video, okay? First of all, let's figure out the slope, because I got a point. I got a point. Let me circle it. That's important, isn't it? And I need a slope, because if I had a point and a slope, I could use the point slope form, right? And that was one of the ones that's up on the board. Y minus y1 equal m, which is what? What's m represent? Bless you. Slope. Always the slope when you see m. X minus x1. When I'm using this form, I need to plug in a y1, an x1. That just means an x and a y that go together, right? Do I have that already given to me? Do I have an x and a y that go together? Yeah, so let's put it in, okay? So let's see what we have already, some of this. What's my y1 going to be? -6. Now remember, the formula says y minus, and when I'm plugging in the y1, I'm plugging in -6. So we've got to be careful about double negatives, and you might want to put a parentheses when you're plugging something in, just so that you won't accidentally think that minus sign was my negative on my -6, which happens tons of times, when you grade papers. And isn't that going to become y plus 6 in a minute? So we'll go ahead and write it down. On the other side, I don't have my slope. I'm going to put parentheses there, because isn't the slope multiplied by whatever's in parentheses? So is it okay if I put a parentheses to plug the slope in there for you guys? It doesn't confuse you, right? Okay. Now I need x minus, and there's some number I got to plug in for x1. Let me go ahead. Since I circled in orange, I'm going to kind of write this -6. I'm going to trace back over it. What do I know about x1? What x goes with -6? 3. So I'm just going to put it right there. Okay. And I need a slope. Okay, so this is just going to be the slope times x minus 3, right, on this side. So I still got to plug in that slope. I'm not going to put a parentheses now, because I know I'm just going to stick it out front there. How am I going to get my slope? What do I know about it? Okay, it's perpendicular to that one. That means if I find that slope of that line, what do I got to do after I find it? Yeah, so find slope. This is what I got to be thinking in my head. I need the slope. I can figure it out. If I find the slope of 3x plus 5y equal 15, I just need to take the opposite reciprocal of it, and that'll be my slope for my problem. Okay? I'm just going to kind of abbreviate there, and hopefully you can kind of listen if you don't remember what OPP, all that crap is. Okay? Sorry. I'm not very eloquent, you know it. Okay. So let me think about that. How am I going to do that? How would I find the slope of this equation? It's not in a nice form. That's that standard form, isn't it? It doesn't tell me the slope. Standard form is not very helpful most of the time. How am I going to find it? Solve for y. There you go. Why does solving for y help us? Yeah, if I solve for y, doesn't that put it in y equal mx plus b form? Slope-intercept form? And then I can look right in front of the x, and there will be the slope of this line, and I know I got to take it and flip it and change the sign, right? Does that make sense? Okay, so part of it's just remembering the big picture. How do I do these things when it's not sitting in front of my face like I like it? That's why I like the y equal mx plus b. So much is right there in front of your face, and it's like you don't have to work so hard for it. Okay, that's good. That's all right. Okay, so let's take 3x. Let's see if I can do this in a little bitty space here, so maybe I won't have to. Yes, very small space. So if I'm solving for y, what do I do first? Yeah, the x term, remember we do PEMDAS backwards. That means anything that we can add or subtract to get it away from the y. Pretend y's got the flu and everybody's running away from him and you got to go in a certain order. This is a kingdom where the certain people have to leave first. Okay, so this could be subtracted from both sides, right? That's a legal math operation to do that. So we're going to do this to both sides. Now remember, we're not going to say 15 minus 3x is 12x, okay, because that's a common thing that people do. The same things that hurt you in Algebra 1 are going to hurt you this year. So hopefully it'll cement since you're getting practice at it for maybe about the third time. So 5y equals, I could write 15 minus 3x, but I'm going to go ahead and get in the practice of putting my x term first. I'm just going to copy minus 3x. That's a positive 15, and I'm adding those together, right? The 15 and the minus 3x. So wouldn't it be plus 15? Okay, and if I'm getting y by itself, the last thing I got to do is to do what to get that y by itself? Divide by 5. Now, I'm not even going to clean up what I'm doing here because all I'm really interested in is this right here, isn't it? Okay, that's our 5-minute warning, okay? So in 5 minutes, class, I need to dismiss you. So you'll be, I'll tell you that in a minute, never mind. In a minute. Okay, so my slope at this line is negative 3/5. What slope do I need to write over here? Well, it's perpendicular. Flip it, change it. 5/3, right? Positive 5/3. So there we go. There's my line. And you know what? In pre-cal, unless it tells you to put it in a certain form, you get to leave it that way. You do not have to do the cleanup on that.